Hey guys, welcome to TST Garage. I'm Bart, and today in this video I'll be showing you how to install the TST Industries brake light modulator on your bike. Now, a brake light modulator, sometimes called a strobe, sometimes called a brake light flasher, what it does is basically enables you to install some electronics on your bike so that when you press your brakes, the brake light flashes in some kind of pattern and alerts the drivers behind you that you will be stopping. Our particular brake light modulator comes pre-wired to a plug that interfaces with a sub-harness that we provide specific to your bike model that enables plug-and-play functionality with your bike. So that means that the installation is really fast and you can do it yourself. Now, the electronics inside, we do have the ability for you to program this unit to 3 different functions and then subsequently adjust the rate of the effect to your liking. Our first programmable mode is strobe alert. This mode will produce 9 flashes and then stay solid for the duration of the brake engagement. Second one is intermittent pulsar. Each cycle will flash 10 times and then pause, and then these cycles will repeat for the duration of the brake engagement. The last available option is pulsar, and this one just basically provides continuous flashing for the duration of the brake engagement. Now we will show you how to install this. It's really simple, and then after the installation chunk, I will show you in detail how to get inside here, how to program the different modes, and how to alter the rate of those different modes. We did think about the safety of such devices during the design phase, so we decided to design this in a way that it will be a pass-through component. In case you experience a failure on board here, it will just pass through your normal brake function, which means you press your brake light lights up, there's just no effect. In case you do experience that failure, we do offer a warranty, so we have guys standing by in our support department that will take your call, email, Facebook message, whatever, and we'll get you replaced. And that's pretty much it. I'm really excited to show you guys just how easy this is to put on and configure. So let's get started. For this particular installation, we've got ourselves a 2019 plus Honda CB650R. The installation of these components is exactly the same on the CBR650R model. The tail and seats components are exactly identical on these models, so you'll follow the same steps. What we'll need is a 5mm Allen key, and having a tiny screwdriver or pick tool will also be very helpful. If you don't have that, then you can just use your nail for the portion that's needed for. We have a plug-and-play harness that will enable us to just snap everything in without any modification, and that'll be nice and easy. Just one little note here. Currently, at the time of the shooting of this video, it is 2020. We are in development of an integrated taillight that is programmable and has all of the features of the brake light modulator on board. So in the case that it's 2021 and beyond and you've already procured one of these lights from us, the installation of the brake light modulator would be redundant. So I'll leave that alone for now. Let's get started on the installation. Let's take off the rear seat and then work on the driver's seat. Now, to remove the driver's seat, we'll need to take out these 2 5mm Allen head screws. Crack them loose first. Tab out the seat. And now we have access to all the connectors. We will pull up on this bundle here. There is a tab on the sub tray, a plastic tab that interfaces with the slot in this rubber keeper. So it just pulls straight up, and then when we're done with the assembly, we'll tab that in on the way back. We'll have to identify the proper plug here. There's only one that has 3 conductors, and it has a white color male and female component. This is the plug that we need to remove, and this is where I use the tiny screwdriver. There is a tab here that locks the male plug in place. We'll pry up on that and withdraw it. You can technically do that with just your nail, but I find it much easier with a screwdriver. Now, our plug-and-play brake light modulator harness has really only one way to get plugged in here. We will get the small connectors seated first. Then we get our main brake light modulator component connector plugged in. Make sure everything makes a little click noise that tells you that the plug is actually engaged. I will now power up the bike and give it a quick test. And in fact, it is working properly. Power down the bike, and now we'll just need to find a place for this guy to live. Now, if you are going to adjust it, please go on to the next section in this video and see how that is done. We have a section showing you how to adjust the different modes on here and also the rate of flash. The remainder of this video will just focus on getting this mounted physically. Now, I do like to have this grommet pointing down or at least horizontal on each one of these installs that I do. So I will situate it like this here. I have the main plug in front of the starter relay between the relay and the battery, and now I have my axis of the cylindrical housing of our brake light modulator parallel to this loom here. I will get my zip ties from the brake light modulator kit and get them around, just cinch down a little bit. I won't tighten anything till the very end. As you can see here, there is a channel that is built into the housing for the purpose of mounting. It matches the width of the zip ties that we provide, so that makes installation really easy and convenient. We do send 2 zip ties with every kit. For this particular installation, I feel like just one will be enough. If you do want to use the second one, it could be done in this place, but it's pretty redundant at that point. This looks good to me. All the wires are away from any other components. We have good mounting. I'm going to tighten it down and then cut off the excess. Now we can replace the seat. Now the passenger seat goes on, and we're done. For mode selection and rate adjustment, we will need to get inside this capsule to access the electronics. These 2 Phillips head screws will need to be removed. What I like to do is unscrew them until they disengage from the receiving threads and leave them in the cap. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to lose them. If we pull them off with the cap, they are self-captive. All right, now we'll identify the parts here. This button is the mode selector, and this potentiometer is your rate adjuster. Clockwise is faster, counterclockwise is slower. Let's first do our selection of modes. With the brake pressed, press the button once to toggle to the next available program. Now the brake does have to be pressed so that the unit powers up, otherwise you won't be able to make the selection. If you find that you've pressed the button but the selection has not been changed, just do it again with the brake pressed. So now we will go on to the next program. Press the brake once more, press the button once, and now you're in the next mode. Now we've switched twice, so pressing it one more time will return to the original mode that your unit arrived in. Now for rate adjustment, we'll be using the potentiometer. With the brake pressed, we can turn it clockwise to make it go faster, counterclockwise to decrease the rate. Now in brake alert, you will only have 9 flashes to make your adjustment, and then it'll stay solid. This one doesn't actually lend itself to really fast flashing at the top of the range. Bottom of the range is unusable, so I like to set it somewhere towards 3/4 to maybe 80% clockwise, and that does it for me. Now if we change to the next one, this one is pulsar, and this one just keeps on flashing, so I like to have it going pretty fast here. Choice is really up to you. If you want to explore the next mode, we have the intermittent pulsar. This one to me belongs somewhere close to the top of the range, makes it the most visible. But again, freedom means choice. The decision is ultimately up to you. Once you're done with your adjustment and you're where you want to be with all your modes and rates, replace the cap, turn the screws back in, and it really is just that simple. Replace your brake light modulator in the space that you decided to keep it, and you're good to go.